Thursday's episode of the Shot Clock podcast with me, Jago. Today's guest is head of athletic training for the Irish squads, former Killester and Vincents player, and looking forward to his first season with Malahide Basketball Club in the National League. It's Pete Madsen.
Hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the Shot Clock podcast with me, Jago. Today's guest is head of athletic development for Basketball Ireland, former Killester and St Vincents National League standout, Super League standout, and looking forward to his first season with Malahide Basketball Club in their first year in the National League. A former Irish teammate of mine, somebody who I wish I got to play with more. Pete Madsen, welcome to the podcast.
How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
No problem. How's things? The first question I'm going to ask everyone is how's lockdown been treating you?
Yeah, good. Training a lot, given there's no basketball and any excuse to get away from the family. But other than that, though, training going really well. Yeah, and so we were speaking earlier. Yeah, really looking forward to the season if it does come and getting involved with Malahide. Training was going great prior to COVID, and really nice squad, nice mix of young guys. And actually, when they asked me what I like to play, they say we need a bit of seasoning on the team. So I was like, seasoning? That's probably the nicest way anyone's ever told me.
I'm going to write that down because I'll use that.
Yeah. So I was really looking forward to it. So yeah. But yeah, things are going good.
Let us in on who else is there? The rumors were rife.
Yeah.
Like I'd heard everybody.
I had heard some people I didn't even know who. Yeah, but so we had Kev Foley is in the mix. Who else have we got? So Gary Barron was going to get involved. Some of the young guys I'd only met, Killian O'Driscoll, the Dailies were involved. They were really impressed me, I have to say. And like I said, I'd only met the guys. Some of them, they were telling me I used to coach them when they were like 8 and 9. I was like, Jesus, way to make me really feel old. And who else? Tariq from ex Vincent's lad, yeah. So and then our American Towns at the time, he was really nice addition. Stephen Ingle,
ex Temple Oak.
Yeah.
He was a beast, yeah.
He's a big boy, and he's such a really nice guy, really nice team guy, And so yeah, like we quite a few of all. Connor James, we're actually very strong at every position, So I was looking forward to it. So fingers crossed, get to put that jersey on, being happy days.
Yeah, look, I'm definitely going to be taking a trip to at least one of those games just to see that mix. So we'll take it back. As I said, you started with Killester, moved to Vincents, stint in the States, stint in the UK, back to Killester again. But let's go back to the very start. Who, what, or why made you pick up a basketball for the first time?
Mama Dukes. So she just said, look, there's something happening there in the Killester courts. Do you want to go in and have a go at that? And I was like, Killester courts is another outdoor sport. Had a pain in me, playing GA because I was freezing. And I was like, why don't you try an indoor sport? And so she just sent me over there, give it a bash, and never looked back really. So yeah, that was pretty much
What age were you when you picked up a ball?
Like 12. So kind of. But I had a weird story, and one of my neighbors who actually he died, and without trying to be too morbid, but his mother gave me his ball, and I was like, just from there, I wore the thing out. It was kind of like linked into my mom saying you should try it out, and then his mom giving me the ball. It was like, okay, I'm not superstitious, but this is definitely a sign. I'm going with this. Like, so yeah, that was pretty much it. And Vinnie Green was coaching us down on the courts with some guys, Neil Conroy and John Heary. All them boys were there, and we're all beating the head off each other. It was great fun, brilliant.
Heary was a tough competitor, and Neil, he's had some great battles with them.
Great guys, yeah. Really Mucky was our coach in there as well. So yeah, Vinnie Green got us going down there. It was brilliant. But those courts are renowned for people coming over and playing, and those.
I remember the summer leagues used to be over there back in the day.
Ages ago, yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah,
we need to get summer leagues back again.
Oh man, I'd love that. Brilliant.
So you played with some greats over the years. Who was your favorite teammate and why?
That's a difficult one. I was looking at that and I gone back and forth, and my wife doesn't really know a whole lot about basketball, but she still was just like, just hurry up and pick somebody. But so like, because when you like, so when I was playing with Vincent's, you know, Emmett Donnelly would have been a standout for me, you know, as far as a teammate. And then when I moved over to the States, because Mick Richardson, like we're best friends and we're best men for each other, but I have to say, through college, because he's the one who kind of dragged me through college and kind of motivated me, and I kind of someone I looked up to. So I would definitely say, yeah, Mick Richardson would be the standout
one of the most
teammate.
underrated players to
Oh
ever
man,
come out of this country. Like
bizarre.
there's not enough said about Mick Richardson.
That's the truth. And that will probably, yeah, I'll answer one of your questions later on. But yeah, Mick Richardson, standout guy, standout player, unbelievable, really.
Standout guy. I like that you led with that rather than play. Standout guy. He is such a good guy. I've only recently connected with him on Instagram and Facebook, but Mick was what a competitor.
Oh yeah, he's unbelievable. Even the national team, with the men's national team, he was our captain, and rightly so. I mean, we'd some greats like Gareth and Adrian and some guys, but everyone still looked up to him, even though he was that bit younger than those guys, and he was still. They could see he was coming next in line, and yeah, it's a shame. Like, because when you were in college, his freshman year, now he's a year ahead of me in college. His freshman year, he was like all CACC as a freshman, and you know, he was playing soccer as well. He got injured at playing soccer, and coach never forgave him for that. But yeah, serious baller, like, you know, unreal.
Absolutely. So during your time in the Irish Super League and National League, who was the toughest person you've had to guard? And then on the flip side, who was the guy who gave you the most work?
Jesus, that's tough. That was so tough. In the Super League, you know what? I'm gonna say currently one of the toughest guys to guard 1-on-1, and I've played against him. Actually, played against him in the UK, and I played against him here. Is Puff. You know, he just because most guys are, you know, now this is a purely 1-on-1 basis. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't. If he goes one way, he doesn't give up on going. He'll take you that way, but then he'll have something else in the bag to bring you back the other way, and then bring you back again. Most Irish guys might take it one way, you'll cut them off, and I'd always overcommit defensively, and you know, and that was usually most of the time was enough, because most Irish guys won't go again, or if they do, you can anticipate it. But with Puff, yeah, he was able to pull back and send me forward, and you know, so that was really, really tough. But you know, it's Irish guys, yeah. I mean, God, there's so many. Ronan McGarty was tough. I remember playing against Ronan down in Ballina. He used to get into it with him. And but yeah, currently I would have to say Puff. But in practice, Emmett Donnelly again. He was just someone who, my God, his on-ball defense was annoying. Was so annoying. It was so good. It just couldn't. Yeah, I guess because he knew me so well as well. He knew exactly how to guard me. But yeah, it was.
But I always feel Vincent's guards, like perennially, Vincent's guards are that annoying little, like a hornet, like a little gnat. You know what I mean? Like going like if you go back to like Jason Sherlock in his day, Garrett Winders, Donald Cummins, John Clancy, then up to like Emmett, Carl, you were always just there. It was like, just please give me just I want an inch.
Yeah, you know what, that's funny, like, because Joey, I don't know if you ever saw Joey Boylan playing, but that's the way he was, and it's mad because I didn't know he played like that really as much, and then for him to, like, you know, instill that in his players, he used to always accept nothing less from us, and you know, he'd have the drill, the 1-on-1 full court, you have to guard everybody 1-on-1 full court, and he would not, like, there was no excuses, but we were always terrified when he used to set that drill up. It'd be 5 one end, you know, 6 another end, and we'd be looking at each other, and then he'd go, okay, 2 free throws each. And we go, oh my God, thank God. And he knew what he was doing as well. But,
who played you the hardest on defense? Who was that one matchup that you hated coming up against?
Again, Emmett was just so tough in practice. We were never on the same team, and but like, because he was such a good defender, when I used to play games, I used to feel like I had so much space. You know what I mean? Because he used to play me so close. But you know what? It's same kind of Paddy Kelly, because when I was over Killester, again, practicing with him, like, so that year with Jermaine, when we won the treble that year, practices were tougher than games. with Damien Seeley, you know, John Bean, Isaac, we were just so good, so talented, and it was, those guys, a lot of those guys were just such tough defenders. You know, it's so hard to narrow one guy down. You know, but yeah, so that would probably be the guys.
You know, I've had a few guys on now who've mentioned teammates as their toughest opposition.
Yeah.
You know, going and practice against this person, or going and practice. Gary McGuire said about Fulty every day was like such hard working. But they're the teams that go on to great success.
Yeah.
And if you're working, like you know Rob Keane, it was me and Rob against each other, or me and Connor Blount day in, day out. So when I got to a game, like you said, I had all the time in the world to do what I needed to do. Because it's not Connor standing behind me, or it's not Keener standing behind me. It's like, this is easy.
Yeah, I mean, and it really does make a difference. I mean, you can develop those competitive kind of relationships, because I know my second year in college, we, as you know, in colleges, you'd get like transfers. They come in. We had a guy come in, and my coach said to me before he came in, he goes, "You're gonna love this guy. He's basically the black version of you." And I'm like, oh. Then all of a sudden, I was like, oh, now I'm already on edge. Like, okay, he's gonna come in, take some minutes. So we were going at it, like, you know, tooth and nail, to the point where coach had to call us into the office and say, "Look, fellas, you know, okay, there's competitiveness, and there's just playing, just making everyone else feel awkward." So Jamal Clayton was his name. I'll never forget it. We became such good friends because of it as well. Like, you know, but he had this MJ turnaround, unblockable thing, that shot that I just, oh my God, could never get to. It used to drive me up the wall. Like, and I tried to close in, take his feet from him, just foul him, but he was serious, I have to say.
Unbelievable. So, pre-game routines or superstitions, have you got any?
I'm not a very superstitions. I would have to say, one of the things actually I learned from John O'Connor and the Irish teams was visualization. And one of the things I used to always, I needed to know the court. Like, you know, I hated arriving at a court I'd never seen. That used to really throw me. But I know if I was going, say, up to Belfast, I would know the court. If I was going, down to Neptune, you know, you'd nearly be picturing the court in your mind, and I'd be picturing the spots where I would normally like to set up. So I guess rather than superstition, I would, you know, I usually would visualize exactly where I'm going. I know it's very cliche to talk about visualization and stuff like that, but aside from visualizing the guards who you're going to be up against, but yeah, the court itself, even the ring, you get to know the ring so well. You know what I mean? Like, even how they look, where the paint was chipped on them and stuff like that. You knew them so well that, like, as a shooter, then you just could like just let it fly. But when when I didn't know the place, then, you know, it was a bit off-putting, I have to say. Yeah.
I love the way that you threw me in there, like, you know, as a shooter. No idea. I don't know what you're talking about. You mentioned John O'Connor there and visualization. Like, we played under John when we were like under 17, under 18, and he was doing visualization back then. But like, so far ahead of his time.
Yeah, no, definitely. In aspects, I absolutely agree with all that. The mental side of it was so underrated, and it's still something I know so little about. But I remember, because I mean, as a 17-year-old, and you're, you know, with the boys in the Irish team, and you're over in Portugal having a ball, and John's like, "Okay, guys, just lay down there, lie on and then you're just like, "Is this for real?"
Yeah.
But it is so effective. But nowadays, I think, you know, people are a lot more clued into it, which is great.
Absolutely.
You know?
Well, I suppose in your role is with the athletic development, I suppose the mental side does come into it as well.
Yeah, it does, and that's one of the things we're trying to do, is build a more holistic, you know, fully rounded program. I mean, my expertise would be in the nutrition and the strength-based, performance-based stuff, but I mean, we want to be able to develop and have a full program where these athletes can, you know, basically just gain from the resources and gain from the professionalism that we have in the sport as itself. You know what I mean? So
absolutely, and it's much needed.
Yeah,
like I'd love to be me again at this age, coming through the teams, knowing about nutrition, knowing about rest.
Yeah.
First and foremost, like
injury reduction.
You're the same era as me, where you know, you played 3 school games a week, you played 3 club games, you were playing up a league, you were playing up 2 leagues, you were training with the Super League team. And a niggle was a sign of weakness. So you'd say nothing. It's like the old NBA guys going, you know, 82 games. I'm going to make 82 games this season. I'm going to play every one. And now they're paying for it with like small little niggles that's still paying them. I'd love to go back and start again. You know what I mean? Just from that point of view.
Yeah, I mean, even from a performance point of view, you exactly like the little things that we're trying to get the athletes to do now and change the mindset and change the culture within Irish basketball. This has been the biggest challenge for us, myself and Kev Foley, who was involved with me, that like just getting them to understand that, you know, how they could go from one like raw talent and yes, basketball. In order to get better basketball, you got to play basketball. But we can help maybe elevate you to in certain aspects and help you, you know, develop certain weaknesses in on your physical stature or whatever it might be. And that's kind of what we're trying to do. And we're trying to make it so that it's progressive, that it's more streamlined, that so when the kid enters into the program at 15, that the things that we're throwing at them or introducing to them, they've seen some of it and they recognize the progressions, rather than it just being a number of different strength coaches at different times with different ideas. Not that they were bad. It's just for the Irish kids who want to see them. By the time they get to 18, I want them to be able to do X, Y, and Z because he started when he was 15. You know, and that's still a challenge because, you know, as you know, like resources and contact time. But we're getting there. We're definitely getting there.
Great to hear. Look, I love hearing that side of things because, like I said to you off camera, myself and Rob Kane have started our own academy, and I've reached out to you. I've reached out to Martin McGettrick. There's a couple of people that I've reached out to about strength and conditioning. What should I be doing? Where should we be going? What should we be teaching? Because I'm 45 next birthday. There's some mornings where I struggle to put my feet in the ground without making a noise that I never thought a human should make. and I don't want that. I don't want that for the kids that are coming through my program. I want them to know that recovery is fine, rather than going, it's a sign of weakness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, yeah, and recovery comes in many forms. Like, you know what I mean? Because recovery can be just simple, like whether it's active recovery or whether it is literally doing nothing and switching off, or whether it is just some form of injury reduction, kind of basic bodyweight exercises, which even at 45 can still benefit. People don't realize that they have this misconception about S&C, and they think that it's all muscle bound and, you know, just pumping iron and bicep curls. And from a sporting point of view, it couldn't be further from the truth. You know what I mean? We're just kind of prepping them for the physical demands that sport basically endures on them. And recovery, one of the best quotes I have from when I worked in the Irish Strength Institute: don't train if you can't gain. And that goes for anything, you know what I mean? So once you recover, then you can benefit and gain from whatever it is you're trying to do, in terms of if it is in the weight room, if it's on the track, to transfer onto the court. So
brilliant. I'll be in touch about next season for me.
Yeah.
The famous one more year.
Yeah, man, I'm guilty of that.
So here's a strange one. Favorite shoes to wear? Favorite in-game shoes? What was your go-to back in the day, and what do you wear now?
Oh, in-game. Well, you know what? That was it when I started. I was like, this is an easy one. The Jays, Jordans, Retro 5s. I'm still in love with those. I would, with the silver tongue, black and gray, I would wear them all day. I have 6 or 7 pairs of Jordans, but I still haven't got a pair of them yet. I remember myself and Mick when we had the 180s, the Barkley 180s. I was rocking them for a while, and I was terrified the air bubble was going to burst on them because the thing was just so prominent.
The fear was real.
Yeah, it was. The fear was real. Pumps. I've actually have a pair of Reebok pumps I have right now. I got a new pair, like the retro version, but they're all horrendous to play in, to be honest. But right now I'm going with the Under Armours. They just feel so light. They're real compact, kind of.
And the way you shoot, you'd have to wear Steph's.
Steph's, yeah.
You'd have to. It's only two.
Yeah, no, the Under Armour serious. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, I have to say at the minute. Yeah.
First shout out to Under Armour.
All right.
Nice job. So it's you and 4 others going to a pickup game in a gym. It's winner stays on. Who are you taking with you?
Oof. That was another tough one.
You can go teammates, or you
Yeah.
can go people you wished you'd played with.
You throwing yourself over there. Let me see.
We played 3 games together. We played 3 games.
Yeah. I'd have to say, God, it was a tough one trying to think of people. But I remember when I was on the national team, men's national team, John Burke, big 7'1" John Burke, and a pickup game that would have been handy.
Yeah.
Again, Mick Richardson does a bit of everything. Kev Foley, and then probably Puff, because then he can give the ball up to me.
That's a nasty 5.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's a nasty 5. So what we're going to do is, when we release all the episodes, we're going to have a bracket.
Right.
So what we're going to do is, it's going to be whoever plays, whoever the first 2 releases are, will release their 2 5s. And people are going to vote on who wins that game. And then the 3rd episode comes onto the court, and we're going to just keep it rolling to see who the season 1 champ is.
That's hilarious.
That's a pretty solid 5, I have to say. That's pretty solid. Any team with Puff in there is a decent
That's true. Yeah, he makes people better. Yeah, definitely.
Look, shout out to Puff. He has agreed to come on, but the work that he does on Instagram and the work that he's doing in his academies,
brilliant. Love that.
Absolutely inspirational.
Yeah, it is. It's like, even like some of all the Americans, like that, I was only looking at that Facebook page, the 80s and 90s, and sometimes some of those lads who've made here their home, they don't get enough shout out. Like the Ricks, Jerome. Like Puff is now what you can consider him like the modern American who's come over and made home his, and he's influenced, like they've influenced so many of us, like, in such a huge way. I know myself, even just going to watch, like, the game would have been nothing without them, and so they don't get enough shouts.
No, definitely not. So we're going to change lane. We're going to move away from basketball for a split second. Top 5 musical artists of all time. Who do you listen to?
Oh, well, number 1 is Oasis. I'm a massive Oasis fan. Liam Gallagher is my man. I know everyone considers him a knob, but
Oasis show. Nice.
Is it? Yeah. Oh my God. Shiny, Mike. Oasis. And then I guess it's kind of like, when you're going through all your school years and you kind of roll in, like there was always, when you're rolled in with the rap era and like with ball, it always kind of comes hand in hand. So any 90s rap, I was all up on, all over it, like Ice Cube, Lethal Injection, NWA, all those guys, you know what I mean? But then I started getting more into the rocky side. Currently Oasis now currently, but anything Nirvana, Muse, and then like a little bit of Jamiroquai, so odd one, so yeah, weird.
No.
Yeah.
That's not weird. Trust me. These episodes release. You're sitting watching these episodes and you're going, really? Right, so Joey Hastrup.
Yeah.
Great guy. Played with you.
Yeah.
Played with me. Joey's musical taste was horrendous, right? So working on now I mean, he'd put on dance music in the car, and I felt like driving into the ditch half the time. So we're sitting, and I asked Joey, top 5 musical acts of all time, and I'm like, already cringing, going, God knows. Joey rocks out with AC/DC and Pearl Jam, and I'm like, where did that come from?
AC/DC, yeah. I did not see it. I wouldn't have seen that one coming at all.
I don't think anybody will. I don't think anybody will see Joey Hastrup saying AC/DC as one of his favorite acts of all time. But look, he did, and that's Joey for you. So next question. You're the DJ. We're warming up. What are the last 3 songs that we're listening to before we come off the court?
Oh, jeez. So the one I used to always listen to, I got for some reason, it used to get me going, Pretender by Foo Fighters. And then, I used to love House of Pain because it was always on, Jump Around, you know what I mean? They used to always play in all the warm-ups, and I think it just kind of got ingrained a bit. But and then another song by Muse, but like, I don't think anyone would be too mad on listening to my warm-up tape.
So what you're saying is Pete's not in charge of the music?
Yeah, you're fired.
Is that what we're going with?
That's where we're going, yeah.
Brilliant. So you've been around it. You've been around the league. You've played abroad. You've been to college. You're now on the other side where you're mixing your playing career and coaching now. But what advice would you give to a 16-year-old Pete Madsen if he was sitting in front of you, knowing what you know now? What advice would you give him?
Aim higher in terms of where you could have been in leagues and on the continent. And I guess, yeah, because when I was finished college, all I wanted to do was go to college in the States, get a scholarship, go to college in the States, do well, and then play Super League. You know what I mean? I never realistically thought further than that. And now, you're looking at social media and you're because guys are just so connected with other leagues, and I didn't, I didn't even really understand what the other leagues were or what it was like. And I kind of took an easy route going to the UK because I knew someone there. And but yeah, I had an offer to go to a place in France, which again, I just bottled it because I was like, I don't really know what I'm getting myself in for there. And I just didn't. And so, yeah, I would say aim higher, just get your foot in the door and go, and that would probably be what I'd say to 16-year-old me.
It's such an Irish thing, isn't it? It's such that lack of belief.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That phone call comes and somebody says to you, look, I have this lined up for you. And you go, you're grand.
You're grand. Yeah.
I'm good. Right? I'm doing okay here. Cheers, thanks.
Yeah. I know, exactly, because you were well, I'm an international, happy days and all, but then it's it's not enough. It shouldn't have been enough. I should have been right, now what's next? Let's go. Get the foot in the door, get on the continent, suck it up, go for it. But I didn't really have anyone kind of saying to me, you should go, and it'd be my mom would be like, yeah, sure, you'd be grand here. Yeah.
That's what it was. It was even when I finished playing with Notre Dame as they were, I finished playing at 22 because I'd have fallen out with Jenkins, and there was just
that's.
But I just stopped.
Yeah.
Instead, I'd love now somebody to just say to me, why don't you just go literally across the M50 to Leicester or Tolka or Vincents or go to Marion, because I can't play for anyone else.
Yeah. We were chatting about that mentality is still alive a little bit. Maybe it's just more our era of people but yeah,
one club players. That it's just as I said to you off camera, I signed with Vincents 2 years ago, and I remember talking to Rob Kane, going, I'm after signing for Vincents, but I felt like I was genuinely nervous telling them.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? It's not,
I think there's
people from United to Liverpool. It's I'm just going across. I'm just playing a bit of Dublin basketball
for the crack. Yeah,
nobody's. I know
people. So people still, I think, give me the stink eye when they hear or reminded of when I transferred from Killester to Vincents and then back. I think they're still a bit like.
Well, it's funny. Pat Glover said the same. Pat Glover said the same. He moved from Marion to Vincents. There was guys that would walk past him on the street.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just like you didn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. But yeah, that's great advice, is to aim higher. I wish more Irish players did.
Yeah.
Because there's a generation out there that should have gone further than they did.
I agree. 100% agree.
Definitely. So, second last question, which is, again, because I get to this point in every episode and I go, really?
Yeah.
Really? So, dead or alive, 5 dinner guests you'd invite to your house. They can be friends, family, or famous. The choice is yours. Who's coming to dinner in Pete's house?
Oh, well, I suppose it was going to have to be the boys. So, only because we're kind of all split up now. Mick Richardson, I was his best man. He was mine. Joey McGurk, Emmett Donnelly, John Daverin, who's still in the States.
Davo, man, he was a baller.
Yeah, Davo, gas man. Still, I think he's one of those guys who went to the States and actually ended up getting a worse Dublin accent. He now sounds like he has a stronger. He tried so hard to keep it. I'm like, I can't even understand him. But and then another big guy I went to college with from of all places, Muff in up north in Derry. Ronan O'Leary, 6'9". Yeah, he lives. Yeah, I know, that's what people. 6'9" guy from Muff up in Derry, and he came over to the States he's a monster of a man. But yeah, another one I couldn't understand either. And I was supposed to translate for him for all the brothers in the States, and this like wasn't happening. I was like, don't look at me. But yeah, so they'd be great because it's actually been, God, I don't know how many years it's been since we've all got together. And so they would have been all the main lads that we hung out, bar Ronan, which I met in the States but became very good friends with. So yeah,
Look,
all those guys.
It's a solid 5. And look,
yeah,
here's the follow on. Are we ordering in or are we cooking? And if so, what are we eating?
Well, I thought about this because I love my pizza, but the lads now, I don't know if it's something to do with their age or what, they're getting big into their cooking meat stuff, and they're sending pictures, and Mick is giving it, because Mick lives in Arizona, you know, so it's all about the barbecue and the hung, and I'm just sending them over pictures of my 3-in-1, you know what I mean? But you know what, I would probably order pizza in the end. I'd probably win out in the end. So
right, so if you ever get a chance, I'm gonna give you this is for free. Woodford and Wings in Clondalkin.
Okay.
Amazing pizza.
Yeah.
Amazing wings.
Yes.
Mention my name. I'm sure the boys over there will look after you. Ian and Rory, 2 good friends of mine.
All over
you need to get over there. You need to get over to Woodford.
Oh man, because wings, that is Mick's thing. That is his thing. Chicken wings. He has to try chicken wings. Everybody loves them. And when I say he likes them hot, like he is literally dripping sweat himself, and he just look. I'm like, how are you even enjoying that?
My go-to over there, my go-to in Woodford would be the sriracha and garlic wings.
Right, nice.
Yeah. Oh,
sounds
or else
amazing.
every now and again you do teriyaki duck wings. You need to get over there.
Duck wings, never
teriyaki
tried them.
duck, absolutely incredible.
Wow. Okay.
there you go. I'll give you that one for free.
They sound quacking.
Terrible. So, look, we've reached. It's coming up to the last question. First and foremost, Pete, I just want to say to you, thanks a million for giving your time. It's been a pleasure chatting to you again. You're one of those guys that you can always reach out to. You'll always get a reply. It's, you know what I mean. And like I said at the very start, I wish we could have played a bit more together.
Yeah, definitely.
That 1-2 punch would have worked perfectly. You coming off my screens and me just rebounding. Not that you missed many. It would have been fine.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
You know, and another night out in an industrial estate in the UK probably would have gone down well.
Say no more.
That's a story for a different day and a different time.
Upside down furniture, yeah.
Yeah. Well, look. Yeah. Rob Keane removal services. That's all I'm gonna say.
Demolition man.
Look, I look forward to seeing you playing next year with Malahide. It'd be great to see you back on court. Keep up all the work you're doing with the Irish teams. You know, it's so important, and I think it's fantastic that the Irish basketball community are finally getting into this athletic development, strength and conditioning, mental side of basketball, because God knows we need it. You know what I mean? Like we're not going to be the tallest. We're not going to be the strongest, but if we can get like just another inch or another little bit quicker, we could compete again, and it's great to see, you know. So I appreciate all you and Kev are doing for that, you know. Great. So last question: who would you like to see on the podcast? Who do you want to see sitting in your seat, getting grilled?
Who would I like to see? It's so many of them. I would say, can I give you 2?
You can give me as many as you want, pal.
All right, okay. Right, I definitely I've mentioned him a few times today because obviously he is like my brother, but Mick Richardson, and someone who I definitely deservedly needs a shout out, and you know his basketball ability was unbelievable, and it'll be good to reconnect with him. He's a funny guy. Joey Boylan, got to get him on if you can. If you have translator or something like that, be good. But yeah.
Look, I said to you off camera, Joey was the first person to pick me for an Irish team. You know, he's a legend.
Absolutely.
That's end of story. The word is used too often, but it doesn't even come close to describe what Joey is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so there'll be the guys. Definitely hit them up.
Rich and Joey B.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually message Mick now.
Yeah, do.
Get it done now. I'm gonna get it done now.
Okay, you got to do it. Yeah, fire on that one. Yeah, good man.
Listen, Pete, appreciate your time. Best of luck for next season with Malahide and all that you're doing. Stay safe. Love to the family. And we'll talk soon.
You too. Take care, Jago. All the best.
So that was episode with Pete Madsen. If you head over to our Instagram story to vote on the Winner Stays On competition, Team Scally there yet again to take on Pete's team. And then head to our Spotify as well to listen to Pete's 3 additions to the Shot Clock podcast playlist. Everything's available now in our link tree. Thank you, Hilary Nets, for teaching me how to do that the other night. So look, Monday's episode, we'll drop a few hints as usual. Get over and vote, like, subscribe, all those fun things. And until next time, this is Jago saying, I'll see you on the court soon.